Welcome to the Humble ISD Advanced Learning Podcast, where our goal is to talk about anything and everything related to advanced learning in less time than it takes for you to get from home to school or work. I'm Dr. Tong Udacrit, the Director of Advanced Learning for Humble ISD. Hope you guys are enjoying your coffee at this point. Today we'll be talking about a program that truly provides some great instructional supports and acceleration for our students in the district, and that's the AVID program. Joining me today for the conversation is someone who has not only taught in the AVID classroom, but is also an AVID national staff developer and is instrumental in supporting AVID across the campuses here at Humble ISD. Please welcome Christie Huseman, the District AVID Coordinator. Thanks for being here today, Christie.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
So I know in the first episode, we talked about a lot of different things in the overview, from gifted and talented to advanced placement. We talked a little bit about AVID, but for those that didn't get to listen to the first podcast or maybe have forgotten, can you give us a little bit more of an overview of what exactly is AVID?
Yeah, so let me define AVID for you. So AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And at its core, it's a college readiness program offered throughout the school day as an elective at our secondary campuses. I think that the best way for our audience to really understand AVID and what it provides is talking through what students experience at each of the grade levels depending on when they enter the program. So beginning at 6th grade, which is the earliest that a student could take AVID, what AVID is doing is really supporting students as they transition into middle school, and especially, really specifically looking at supporting them through advanced coursework, multiple teachers' expectations, where at the elementary level, they're used to having one or two teachers that they're balancing, and then all of a sudden launching into 7 or 8 teachers and their expectations. And then also the introduction of those extracurricular activities and helping them really understand how to balance their time. As they go into 7th or 8th grade, or say they join 7th and 8th grade, AVID is building student skills that transcend content and help students be successful in all of their courses. Once they leave middle school and transition to high school, or if they're just entering into AVID at 9th grade, you're looking at 9th and 10th grade AVID supporting students in that transition to high school, the academic demands of not only the college prep courses, looking at like pre-AP, but also our college bearing courses, our college credit bearing courses, which are going to be UT on-ramps, our dual credit courses, our AP courses. So really helping to support them there. You're also looking at helping our students really take ownership of their learning in various ways. So not only in their classes, but goal setting and academic success. So these are also the years where we are providing free test prep that's embedded in our AVID classroom, and it's helping students with PSAT, SAT, ACT, and their AP exams. So again, lots of support for our students embedded in the school day, which is it's a game changer for our kids, especially those who are spread really thin as far as their time. As you move into an 11th and 12th grade AVID student, what we provide is really unparalleled support for students and families around college test taking, college choices, college applications, the scholarship applications, and student financial aid. So we really walk beside our families as they navigate the complexities of post-secondary education and getting prepared to launch out of high school.
That's awesome. So, as we look at, AVID really extends from 6th all the way to 12th grade. You kind of referenced this a little bit, but so can I join AVID at any time? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, so you are able to apply for AVID the year before you want to take an AVID course. And so typically you're going to be doing this during course selection. And there's a process that students have to go through where they are applying, they get interviewed, they talk to the AVID teachers, and then they're accepted into AVID. And so they can join in 6th grade and stay with us until 12th grade. If they don't hear about it in 6th grade, they're able to join at any other point during their schooling in order to take advantage of the opportunity.
Okay, and is this an application every year, or is it like once I'm in, I'm good to go as long as I stick with it?
Yeah, so once you're in, you're pretty much good to go unless for some reason you're having to get on probation. So very similar to athletics, where if there's major behavior problems or there's other academic failures that are consistent, and the student isn't showing really a desire to get better, then that's where we kind of take a step back and look at, okay, why are we in AVID? Let's revisit the why behind your placement and see if this is still the right fit for you.
Yeah, and it sounds like, this is very much a program. Like you said, I think part of it is the fact that it's embedded during the school day, right? Like, I know there's so many families that think that, oh, wow, I've got to spend a ton of other time, resources outside of school, money outside of school to get some of this tutoring or test prep as I kind of look towards college. So it looks like this is a great opportunity for some of our kids that they not only get these chances, but they get it during the school day.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely one of our biggest selling points. And I know that you mentioned tutoring, which we'll dig into later, but that's a huge piece of what we do during the school day for our students.
And so it sounds like this is a great opportunity to get some accelerated academic supports. So I know you spent some time as an English teacher before you became an AVID teacher. And so, what was it about AVID? You gave us a huge history lesson here, which is great and beneficial. But you taught English before all of this, before this AVID world entered into your life. So what was it about AVID that got you interested in first teaching it, and now, you're serving in a much larger capacity at our district?
Yeah, so I can say that I did not know that AVID existed whenever I was getting my teacher certification, right? When I was in college, I was going to be an English teacher, and that is what I did for many years. And I really enjoyed teaching English. I had a vast experience with different types of students and campuses. So I worked in Katy ISD, College Station ISD, and Alief ISD. Ultimately, what drew me into AVID was it allowed me to do what I always wanted to do as an educator, which is to have a holistic approach to education and work with students on actually building skills that allow them to access challenging curriculum. It allowed me to assist students and families in really navigating the complexities of advanced coursework and post-secondary pathways. It also allowed me to help empower students to build their confidence in achieving their goals and dreams. So for me, AVID, when I was exposed to what it was, it's an educator's dream. It is what speaks to the very aspects of what really drive our passions in education. And so personally, AVID really embodies what we strive for when we think about personalized learning experiences for our students and families. That is what AVID is. And so you asked me about why Humble ISD. And so when I had the opportunity to work in Humble ISD, so before I came here, I was in Alief ISD working and doing work with AVID. But to work with Humble ISD to support campuses both implementing and expanding the work of AVID, I really couldn't wait to serve in this larger role. And so AVID is something that I've really experienced in that it shapes students, it's shaping families, it's shaping educators. And I wanted to bring that into the space that I actually live, because I live in Humble ISD. My child will go to Humble ISD schools, and my family has actually served in Humble ISD for over 30 years. And so I really couldn't wait for the opportunity to continue that legacy and give back to the community that I live in.
Talk to me a little bit more about the AVID elective, right? So I've applied, I've been interviewed by the AVID teacher. I want to do this. I'm sold. I'm in. I want these extra supports. What's so special about these AVID elective courses?
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about this earlier, where we're talking about what you would get at each of the grade levels. And so what I want to spend time talking about right now is kind of what every grade level gets that's really unique to the AVID experience. And so all AVID students, grades 6 through 12, they engage in our AVID tutorial process, which is unlike anything our students have experienced. The tutorial process is very similar to what we do in a college-like setting. And so it's this collaborative academic experience that's really focused on inquiry and Socratic questioning. And so what I do, part of my role, is I employ and train 45 AVID tutors who are currently college students, or we have some recent college graduates that are working on their masters, they're about to go to law school. And 2 days a week, they are assigned to campuses, and they work in small groups with our AVID students. And so the tutorial focus is on the challenging curriculum that our AVID students are engaging with, especially in their core academic classes. And so if you think about a middle school student who's engaging in tutorials twice a week, they're bringing their advanced math questions, their science questions, English, history questions that they're really struggling to become proficient in or become an expert in, and they're bringing it to this table with AVID tutors and their peers to really dig into the curriculum. I know earlier you mentioned how it being embedded in the school day is a huge bonus for not only our students but also our families, because a lot of times our families of students who are in advanced academics classes, they're paying tutors outside of the school day to come to their home and work with their kids. That is happening in the AVID classroom twice a week, and the district is committed to paying for that and training those tutors in order to provide this really supportive environment for our kids.
So you're saying there's no additional cost?
Correct, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is, almost unheard of, right? Because when you think about the tutoring world, it's quite expensive. And so to have access to that is something that most students, one, don't receive, but especially not during the school day. So that's one of the biggest benefits. When you think about high school and what they're doing in tutorials, I mean, the AP classes, the dual credit classes, UT on-ramps, they're also doing SAT prep. There's so much that is required of students who are on, a pathway to going to college. And a lot of these kids are also the kids who are enrolled in extracurricular activities. They're doing band, or they're doing cheer, they're doing sports, and they're working at night. They're helping care for their families, and so there's limited time, and so that's why it being built into the school day is really important for our students. We also, I think what's really cool about the tutorials happening twice a week is we work hard really engaging our AVID tutors and knowing that they're more than an academic support for our kids. So they're also mentoring our AVID students. They are current college students or they just graduated, and so they're able to be an example of where these students are going and to get really relevant support from people who are just a few years ahead of them. And so it's academic, but it's also that mentoring.
So we've spent a lot of time talking about this. Sounds great, right? So if I'm a parent and I'm hearing you talk about all these things, right? I've got embedded tutors during the day that at no cost to me. I don't even think we got a chance to talk about some of the other supports, like the AP exam fees being covered, the UT on-ramps fees being covered. I mean, there's a lot of these other things that come apart with this. All of this added benefit. I mean, I want to know more. What do I need to do as a parent? I'm listening to this podcast, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I need more information on how I can get my kid into AVID. What do I need to do?
So the best way to contact someone about, you can always contact me at christie.huseman@humbleisd.net. But to get very specific information, you want to contact your child's campus. And so if you're in fifth grade, if you have a fifth grader, you want to contact the middle school. If you're in middle school, you're contacting, your counselor or your AP. High school, same thing. My suggestion is to do it before you choose your courses, so that you can make sure that you are completing the application process. But again, just reaching out to the campus, they'll know exactly who to direct you to. If not, you can always reach out to me and I can direct you to the campus contact.
That's awesome. Christie, we spent a lot of time today. I'm sure people are finishing up their first cup of coffee, getting out of the car, getting ready to go to work, or getting ready to go into school. So really appreciate your time today. But that's all the time we have for the Advanced Learning Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be notified when we drop a new episode talking about anything and everything related to advanced learning. You can also follow us on Twitter at UmbleISD_ADV. I think AVID also has a handle, right? UmbleISD_AVID. Is it
yes.
AVID? But this is Dr. Tong Unicrit. This has been the Advanced Learning Podcast, keeping you ahead of the learning curve in Humble ISD.